Hello people of YouTube, it's Deepak here, and welcome to DCS World 2.7.18 and Heat Blur Simulations F-14B Tomcat. Welcome to Tutorial 1, Pilot's Startup. Today we're going to cover one part of the two-part startup procedure, this being because the F-14 has two crew members, as we can see here, the pilot in the front seat and the RIO, or Radar Intercept Officer, in the rear seat. Today, because we're going to be a human pilot, we're going to make use of Jester, who is the AI RIO provided by Heat Blur. He'll do all the startup from the back seat on this occasion. Now, the F-14, being a naval aircraft of a certain era, has no battery, so no onboard backup electrical power I mean, and the engines are pneumatically started. So in order to start the aircraft we need ground power, or the deck cable, and we also need the start cart to be connected to provide us with an air supply. So let's jump into the cockpit and begin the process. If we bring up the ICS menu, go to Ground Crew, and choose Ground Electric Power, and we'll choose On. And we can talk to the ground crew right now because we've got the canopy open. There we go. The aircraft now has power from an external source. You can see that the warning and caution lights come on, a number of the instruments just came live, and everything is looking powered now. So next thing we're going to need is the external air. So we choose Ground Air Supply from the Ground Crew menu and ask for Connect.
Chief, connect ground air supply. Copy. Ground air supply is now connected.
Excellent. So with that done, we can speak to Jester and make sure that he begins his startup procedure. By default, you control the Jester menu with your look. So I'm going to choose Startup. He has an assisted start as well, where he reads the checklist, but today we're going to trust ourselves.
Okay.
And down here we're going to turn on the hot mic for the ICS.
ICS comm check.
He's doing his comms check. We're going to bring up the menu again, and we're going to say loud and clear.
Roger.
And then while we're here, down here, I'm going to turn on my oxygen. And then over my right shoulder, I'm going to turn on the ejection seat. And then in a moment, Jester will close.
I'm closing the canopy.
There you go, he got there first. In a moment, Jester will close the canopy. So next, my job is going to be to start up the engines. Before I...
Hey, ready to start.
Ready to start. Okay, Jester is now happy for me to do an engine start. I'm going to press the external lights master to on. I'm going to put wing position, tail position to bright. And I'm going to turn on the anti-collision light to warn people that we're about to do an engine start. And if we check on the external view, we'll see here that, yep, position lights are on, anti-collisions are flashing, and people will know to get out of the way. Now, starting the engine in the Tomcat is really simple. Engine instruments are here. We have the RPM, exhaust gas temperature, and fuel flow in these bar graphs. We also have oil pressure for left and right here, hydraulic pressure for left and right here. Oh, and before we start the engine, we need to make sure that the hydraulic transfer is in the off position. So I can actually look down here, uncover this switch, and make sure it's in the forward position. This will stop us from using the hydraulic transfer while we only have one engine running. So with that done, we're now going to position our view so we can see the RPM and EGT, and also the crank switch. Crank switch has a left and a right position. We're going to right click it into the right positions, to crank the right engine. We're going to see RPM climbing. Once it gets to 20%, we're going to pop the throttle out of cutoff. We get a little line to confirm it's at 20%. I can left click the right throttle. That will introduce fuel. You'll see we've got a little bit of fuel flow now. We'll get exhaust gas temperature coming up, and RPM will continue to climb. Once the RPM stabilizes, it should stabilize at about 69%. That'll be a good start, and we should see, there, it just did it. The crank switch should reset to the center once the starter is no longer needed. So we're just waiting for that engine to stabilize now. Hydraulic system right just achieved normal pressure. Oil pressure has come up as well. Flight control hydraulics are showing normal pressure. And engine has stabilized. So that was a successful right engine start. So with that done, we can request the ground crew disconnect external power.
Chief, turn off the ground power.
Because we're now on internal power. And you can see here the right generator warnings are out. Right engine warnings in general are all out. Excellent. Okay, we've disconnected the external power. Just going to see... Now, Jester's not ready to do his INS align yet. We want to get him doing that as early as possible, because there's a whole bunch of stuff he needs to do with that. And it takes a while. So, now we're going to go left engine crank. Wait for 20%. There's 20%. Pop the throttle out of cutoff. Got some fuel flow. Wait for EGT. There's EGT coming up. And we should see the crank switch pop back to middle. There we go. Just waiting on that RPM climbing. Left hydraulic system just came alive. And the engine is stabilized. Cool. That's left start complete. So with that done, we can now switch the hydraulic transfer back to normal and close the cover. We can set bleed air to both. We can turn on the 3 SAS system switches, pitch, roll and yaw. And let's see if Jester is ready to talk to us. There we go. So I want him to go for a fine alignment.
Okay.
And just so that I can monitor that, I'm going to turn on my VDI, my HUD, and my HSD. I'm going to switch the HSD to the TID monitoring mode, where I can see Jester's TID, and I can actually see exactly what he's doing here. That's him entering our current position coordinates. This is the alignment, by the way. It moves from left to right, and this number here will count up. Left-hand digit is number of minutes, right-hand digit is tenths of a minute. I don't know why it's decimal minutes, but hey. This will run for about 8 minutes, so it's good to get him doing that as early as possible. While he's doing that, we're going to turn on our avionics in the front seat. So I'm going to put my UHF radio to both. I'm going to turn on my TACAN to transmit and receive. It's already on 2 X-ray, which is actually my local TACAN, so that's working nicely. And we should see that this... Actually, why has that not come alive? It's showing off. Interesting. Maybe the TACAN takes a moment or two to come alive. If I switch it to TACAN mode... No, it doesn't make any difference. Anyway, RWR goes to on. There we go. We immediately have some contacts on there. We can uncage our standby artificial horizon. We can activate the radar altimeter, and it's going to begin an automated test. Down the right hand side here, I'm going to actually turn on some console lighting. Is there anything else I need down the right hand side? Nope, this is all normal. Left hand side check. Everything looks normal. Okay, with that done, we're now actually going to do a full controls check. So I'm going to go hook down. We're going to go spoilers up. We're going to extend the refueling probe. We're going to deploy the flaps, and we're going to move the wings fully forward sweep. And you'll see that we've got some indicators here. We're showing spoilers up. I'll just wipe the flight controls there as well, just to make sure they're working. They are. That's good. And here we can see flaps are full down, slats are full down, left and right and nose gears are all locked, and we're going to do full extend of the speed brake as well. And if we go to the outside, we'll now be able to check all of this and make sure that it looks normal. So, refueling probe is out, including its little light. The slats, leading edge slats, are down. Spoilers are up. Flaps are down. Hook is down. Speed brake is extended. And flight controls are working normally. So, with that done, we're going to return them all to normal. Bring the hook back up. Set spoilers to off. For carrier operations, spoilers should remain completely off. The flaps can come back up. And the wings, we're going to actually push down and close the cover for those, because we're now going to get them set up to work off of the stick as normal. If we look at the wing sweep indicator here, we can see they're all the way forward. The arrow, by the way, is their... now, is that commanded position? I actually can't remember now. They're still in emergency mode. I get them out of emergency mode again. Oh yes, I need to press reset. We need to press the master reset for the wing sweep system. And now it's going to show manual. And this little indicator is where I'm manually commanding the wings to be, and in the bar shows their current position. The arrow is the automatically commanded position. So if I pop my wing sweep back into auto, they're going to fully sweep forwards. Just like that. We can confirm that from the outside. And if I take manual control again, I'm going to sweep them full back, although not back into the oversweep position, which is what they were in at the beginning of this flight. So that's them fully swept back, but in a flight-capable position. We'll leave them there until we actually make our way to the catapult. Once we make our way to the catapult, we'll pop them into auto. But I'm going to leave them swept back for now. Okay, if we monitor this, we see we're about halfway through the alignment here. And there we go, that's the radar altimeter finished its boot up. We're now going to push the self-test. It'll go to 100 feet, give us a green light, and then when we release, we'll get the warning sound again. That's working normally. Nice. RWR looks normal. And everything is set up correctly. That is all the startup that we're going to do from the front seat just now. So that's all looking pretty good. I'm now really just waiting for Jester to do his thing. So we're going to accelerate time a little bit until INS alignment is complete. And he tells us that we're good to go. He'll actually give us the call ready for taxi. And you can see our little carrette is moving along here. It's at the diamond position now, so we could actually probably move the aircraft now. That's kind of a minimum quality, but we're gonna let it go to the full fine alignment. Just a little bit longer. Okay, back to real time. That should finish any moment now. This would be the time for us to set our bingo as well. And the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set my round counter. There we go, that's alignment complete. Okay, round counter is set. I'm going to return my display to nav. I'm going to turn on TACAN. I've now got my TACAN display here. And a quick scan of the cockpit, but I think everything's normal now. I'm also just going to confirm that my DLC is working. You'll see the flap position move there.
Ready to taxi.
At least you should do. DLC's not working. Oh, I haven't retracted the speed brake. That might be the limiting factor there. Nope. Do I have to have wings in auto before it's going to let me do that? Yes, yeah, that's probably going to be my problem there. I've got the wings fully swept back. So if I wanted to do a DLC test, I'd need to pop my wings into auto first and let them come forwards. And then DLC is a mechanism for dynamically adjusting the slaps and flats, slats and flaps while in combat. So I'm rolling my DLC down now. You can see I get some flap. And I can roll it all the way down. And then I'll roll it all the way back up. And that's used as a maneuvering flap setting, effectively. So let's pop the sweep all the way back again so that we're ready to actually taxi. Okay, and Jester actually gave us our call there, ready to taxi. So that is the complete startup from the front seat. Next time I will demonstrate how it's done from the back seat, and that will be a separate video. So, thank you all for watching. I hope that you enjoyed that. This is a new series for me, the F-14 Tomcat. You have the option, if you'd like to support the channel, of course, subscribing, liking, and comment, and that's a really big help to me and to the channel. I also now have YouTube memberships in the form of Deepak's Ground Crew, and I'd like to give a big shout out to those who've already supported me via Deepak's Ground Crew. Those are Channel Wright, Frantic Stone, Storm Kimbari, Byron Farrow, Leo Netzel, Harish Rajan, Pink Floyd, Mangash, and J.R. Walker. Thank you very much to all of you. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all next time.